Hi guys, welcome back again to another video. It's Friday the 28th of February. I played two games online. Uh, yeah, the first game is what you've seen in the description. I found myself in a tough spot and I managed to save myself from that position. So I'm quite happy with it. And yeah, I think we played quite equal. I think we both missed some chances. If he was a better player, I probably wouldn't have been able to save my position. But at this level, apparently I could. So let's have a look. Um, bear with me 1 second. Here we go. I am playing with black. And yeah, just bringing out the e-pawn. So bringing out the knight, quite normal stuff. He's obviously, because I'm quite underdeveloped here on the king side, if I don't respond correctly, he could go in for a fork. There is a way where you can actually bring the second knight out and go for the track. Is it called the Traxler? I think. But it's a bit too risky for me at the moment. And easiest way is just to bring the bishop out. And he can't go in just yet because that'd be a free knight. So that's what I did. Brought the bishop out. He castles. I bring my knight out. He brings the knight out. Just closing the pawn chain. And he's quite likely he's going to bring out the bishop. That's what most people do, so I prevented that. And so he's challenging my bishop. I don't really want to take it because even though this is double pawn, it opens the rook on my king side. So best thing I've learned from other good players. Well, I'm not suggesting I'm a good player, but from other um, YouTubers who are good players, they say to bring it back. I'm not saying I'm a terrible player, but I'm a beginner, and these guys are like sometimes professional or like 2000 elo or something. They all say like bring it back, and if he wants to capture me, yes, I have double pawns, but I open my rook. So that's what I did. Okay, so now we're just changing up some stuff, and I'm just doing the same thing. I'm asking him, do you want to trade? And I'm not even doubling my pawns now. I'm just yeah. If he captures me, which he does, I'll show you in a minute. So these pawns are like all nicely connected. And now if I castle here, which I'll do in a minute, I have my rook open on his king side. So I was quite happy with this. Yes, this is doubling my pawns, but as I said before, no worries. Yeah, so castling, and now I've got my rook nicely on this file. And this is a mistake. Because obviously he's leaving his pawn undefended, which he had defended first, and obviously I needed to look out for tactics. But I mean, an easy thing to do is just to see where the knight can go. It can go here, but it'll be captured by the rook. It can go here, it'll be captured by the queen, and there wouldn't be any tactics either. Sometimes if they capture something, you can't take it because something is pinned. But I could just take it, and the queen couldn't even then take this pawn. So he couldn't go there, he couldn't go here because obviously that's defended. So the knight isn't actually doing anything here. Except for obviously putting pressure on this pawn. So I'm needing to defend this. Yeah. So, but it was safe for me to grab this pawn. So now one pawn up. He attacks me, I retreat. Not sure what this does. And this is a mistake, not a slight mistake, but it's a mistake. I go from being up 1.5 points to equal because it's creating a backward pawn here, and there is a line where mm, he can take advantage of it. I'll show you. No, this is not what happened, but this is why this is not a good move. So yeah, this is a bit weird, obviously, because he would have gone here. Okay, yeah. Because now this pawn is attacked twice. I need to either go here with my rook or protect it here. And obviously this one is under attack now once. So yeah, that's fair to say because I cannot obviously protect this and this altogether, and whatever the computer showed is a little bit. Hang on, I can actually no, but yeah, I need to go either with this rook here, so I prevent this, defend this, or with my rook here. Yeah. But in both cases, I'm not protecting this pawn. Yeah, okay, so that's something to remember. What I was doing in my mind, but that's the thing with chess at my level. Well, speaking personally from my how I am trying to learn this nice game is I wanted to get rid of this annoying knight. But in order to do that, I couldn't just advance this pawn because he could just take this pawn. So I was thinking of a way to um, prevent this from happening. So I thought, like, if I push this pawn, as I did, I thought, like, now I can bring this pawn up, and he has to leave because he can capture it, but then he will be taken back by my queen. That was why I made this move. But apparently it wasn't good. But my opponent didn't see it. Well, he did see it, but the wrong way, because now he's not attacking two pawns at the same time. Now he's just attacking one pawn, which gives me the time to protect both. So now I've got both pawns protected and they're both attacked once. Yeah, so, and this was a nice little idea. And I didn't take advantage of it, because obviously I can take, because I'd be losing a queen. But I could have created a pass pawn, which would even be supported by this pawn. And that could be quite tricky. But then again, he's got a knight and a queen and two rooks. But in hindsight, maybe I should have done it and trade some stuff off. And when you got the queens and the rooks off the board, a pass pawn becomes really, really strong. So something to learn. Uh, I thought like, well, he's probably going to take me uh, because I didn't push, but I just defended my. This is a mistake because I should have pushed because of the reasons I just explained. And I knew he was going to take it, and the computer says I could have taken it, but I thought like if I take this, he recaptures, I recapture, and this pawn is hanging. So I thought like, okay, let's get rid of this. Isn't going anywhere, even though he could have probably defended it with another rook, which he didn't. So maybe that's why the computer wanted me to take this first somehow still. Yeah, probably give up this pawn to make sure that I can get this pawn, because obviously this is a strong pawn. It's in my through my defenses, it's a pass pawn. But I obviously did this with tempo and did okay. So I'm not too unhappy with it because he couldn't have from the moment this happened. Yeah, I didn't give him any. Okay, so it's fair enough. I didn't give him any time to double up his rooks because obviously This is a tempo move. This is a tempo move, and now he needs to move. Well, and he could have gone here, but that wouldn't have made a difference, I think. If he went here, and I capture Can you give me a check? No, don't think so. Let's just say if you would have gone here, what does the computer say? Computer's thinking. So it isn't actually showing in my evaluation bar what the computer thinks about this. Yeah, wouldn't have made a difference. I thought maybe there's some tactics of sacrificing the knight for whatever reason, but no, this wouldn't have mattered. Anyway, now this happened. I don't think this is such a great blunder because this is a pawn which he captured anyway, so it's just me recapturing, trading off some stuff, and now he traded up some stuff. And I thought, before I made this move, I obviously had to calculate, and I didn't do it right, if the knight could come in and grab any of these pawns. And mistakenly, I only looked at this pawn, because I knew quite clearly that this pawn is undefended. But this one also is undefended also, and actually this one also. Not now, because my knight is there, but if I wanted... Yeah. Anyway, so I miscalculated this, so I took, he came in, and he's actually gonna get this pawn because I cannot stop him anymore. How could I have done that maybe? Hang on. Could I have defended this for some reason? Then I needed to, okay, maybe if I would have, oh yeah. Oh man. See, these are the little things that I'm missing, because if I go here, he cannot go there. I was too focused on trying to get my king out there to save things, but this prevents him from going in here altogether. He can't go there, he can't go there, hang on, he can't go here, there, or there. Or there. Yeah, these are the things I need to pay closer attention to. Well, it's not like a must, but that's something I really like to learn to get better at, because then I could have possibly won one pawn up, even though it's a double pawn. I've learned in the past few weeks that a double pawns is hardly ever a winning position, even though I'm up slightly now. In this, oh yeah, actually I was, oh, hang on, wrong buttons. Yeah, I was up, and now it's equal. So he gives me a check, grabs a pawn, still equal. So apparently the double pawn didn't really make a difference anyway. But and I felt like maybe I have a chance to trap the knight. But then I saw like he can, if I move here, he can move his pawn and create a safe space for his. But first I thought like just get this square covered so he can't go there. And then he took some time to figure out how to get this knight to safety, which is fair play to my opponent. This isn't the right move, but it's not terrible either. Yeah. So this is we're still equal. It's a difficult endgame. I thought like go here with my knight, give a fork on these pawns, and the king can only defend one of them. And then he made, yeah, so I went here, and I couldn't obviously now go here because he's defended. So my opponent was playing pretty good, I think, quite solid for our level. And then he pushed this pawn, and that's a mistake. And I didn't see it. And I did think about, can I check? And then it's just miscalculation. I thought like if I give a check, he recaptures with a check, I recapture with a check, and then I thought he can take it with the knight, and I cannot take it with the knight because his king is there. But I could have taken the knight because it would have been defended, so he actually wouldn't have even been. So this is the line Hang on. Yeah, this is the line that didn't happen, but that the engine wanted me to do. And now he can't actually obviously take, because then he'd be losing his knight. And he can't go here because then it's a fork. So he'd have to go here, which he did, and then I'd be grabbing a pawn. Straight away eyeing at this pawn, and if he pushes, I just go here and prevent him from advancing, and then going into an opposition, and maybe start pushing these pawns. So that's what I should have done, but I didn't. Hang on, where are we now? Okay, quite a way back. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I didn't see that nice little tactic. So I thought like just push pawns. I was hoping to get him into some kind of sook swamp, but now he did the other way around with me. Gave me a check, and now I'm having to retreat, which gives him the chance to come into my territory. And even worse, this is a passed pawn, and my knight is all the way over here. So this is the tough. It's where the tough position starts, even though the computer says it's still equal. I knew I was in time, but I thought like if for whatever reason his knight is going to be there and prevent me from taking this pawn, I can bring my knight around and double attack it. Yeah, and this is also where oh actually I thought like if I bring my knight here, it can stop it. So that's what I did, which is fair enough according to the computer. And now we're just trading up some items, and now I made a mistake. And it's equal now. So there's not even a tough position. This is just equal. What I should have done is just advance this pawn to stop it from going any further. And I shouldn't have moved my king from this pawn, because this pawn is protecting this pawn, and this pawn serves the purpose of the king cannot leave this pawn. It cannot even go here, because as soon as it goes, this pawn is flying. So I only needed to keep these pawns safe. But I was more worried about this pawn, which I shouldn't have been, because it wouldn't have been able to go anywhere. So I made the mistake of retreating, allowing him to capture the pawn and the other pawn. Yeah, and I cannot even go take this pawn, and I cannot even take the knight. So this is now the tough position. It's 3 pawns against 1 pawn, and my opponent is up 1.5 point. So I'm quite glad, even with some help obviously from my opponent, because if it was a strong opponent, I probably wouldn't have been able to save myself in this precarious position. But I didn't know what to do. Now I'm behind 4.5 points. Yeah, so this is just a wasted move. But I couldn't take the knight, and I didn't want to move my. Actually, I should just move the pawn. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so now I can take a pawn, and I cannot take that pawn. Oh, he blunders, and now it's rather equal again. Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky position now. This is a tactic which I didn't see. Give a check. And I don't even know if this would have worked, to be honest. Never mind these tactics. I don't think it would have gone this way. Anyway, I thought attacking the knight, so he can't capture just yet. He needs to make. It's all about tempo and gaining time for moving my 2 pieces to this side of the board, because obviously that's where the danger is. So he moves it, take it, which is a mistake apparently. But because I think I'm now Okay. Anyway, I realized I'm far away from where the action is, but I did some calculation and I thought like um, if he takes, he obviously needs to step outside out of the way, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gave me time for 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I'd be able to get into there, and yeah, so that's what I did. I had some excellent moves. I thought because the only thing I needed to do is sacrifice my knight for this pawn, and it's a draw. Because with just the knight you can't win. So that was my sole purpose: sacrifice my knight for this pawn. And I thought like if he comes in here, I can come in here, and I can go here and defend it by my king, and then still being able to sacrifice the knight for the pawn. That was my idea. So came closer. He inched in, moved out of the way. He gave me a. I didn't give me a check. Oh yeah, um, because obviously now I couldn't move my king because then I can't move here. If I move here, I'd lose my knight. So I was thinking, oh bugger, am I in Zugzwang? But then I saw I can give a check. So I was hoping maybe some threefold repetition check and getting into a draw. So he moved, gave another check, and then another check. But then he moved out the other way. But that meant giving up his knight. And now obviously I took some time to think, is it actually worth it? Or do I bring out my knight here to prevent this? Because that was my sole purpose. As long as the pawn is gone, it's a draw. But then I thought like, well, if I go here, the king cannot go here or here, has to go here. Then I bring my knight in, and with the check, and he'd have to go back. Yeah, I didn't know what to happen. Anyway, took the knight, and I offered my opponent already a draw before, but didn't accept it. And now this is just a draw because I can. The king cannot move, so whatever I do, wherever I move my knight, it's a draw because it's just a stalemate. Because the king can't move, the pawn can't move. So there you go. So really happy that. Well, I'm obviously not happy about the mistakes I made, but really happy that I managed to get a draw from being 2 pawns down and also the pawns being on opposite sides of the board. So happy with my calculation. Thanks to the opponent, which obviously also made some mistakes. But yeah, uh, happy nonetheless with this outcome. So on to the next game. So this is the second game and the last game of today. I'm gonna call it quits. Um, finish the day with a nice finish because I won this game. It's a short game where my opponent just blundered a knight and resigned. So, but it's always you need to see the blunders, obviously. So white this time. Oh, hang on. It's going a bit. Oh, press the wrong button. Anyway, yeah. So here we go. This is good because his pawn is preventing me to come in here and forking my opponent. Yeah, I thought like because the knight is here, you might want to chop off my bishop, give him an escape square. And I knew I was in time bringing out the bishop. I thought like if he comes here, I can either chop it off or defend it. And I thought like, well, if you want to trade his bishop for my knight and double my pawns, I'm happy with it because it's not isolated double pawns, but it's still a good solid structure. Yes, this one is isolated, but from what I've learned from this opening, the guys who speak about this, they say, don't even worry about this knight. You don't need to You don't need to defend this knight because double pawns here is no problem. So there we have it. And I thought obviously this is like a weak pawn, so defend it. I was a bit worried about my bishop being trapped, but I thought like if he pushes this pawn, I can take it, and then no threat anymore. Yeah, so castling, just getting my stuff out. I did see that this bishop now had no safe square to retreat to, but I thought like he can't push this pawn because I just take it, and I don't think anyone would want to push this pawn in front of the place where you might want to castle. And I thought like if anything is starting to look a bit grim, and I might be able to go here or here, or even here before to pin this knight. Well, it's not actually pinned because it's defended, but so I thought it was safe to go here because I'm obviously now taking away this retreating space. Uh, Computer doesn't like this because, oh yeah, because this obviously it's attacking this pawn, but it's easily defendable. There we have it. Computer says don't even worry about it. Don't worry about that pawn. But I'm not there yet. So he's pushing pawns. I thought like maybe in a world I can trap the queen because he's pushing his pawns. And then he brought his knight out. I think he wanted to grab this. Maybe he was thinking like I was thinking about the knight. Sorry, excuse me. The bishop cannot actually go anywhere, so this is doubling my pawns. But he or she must have failed to notice that I could actually just grab the knight, and my opponent resigned. So short game, but you must see these errors. In the beginning, I don't think I always saw them, and so yeah, short game, nice game. Played with 91% accuracy. The last game, first game about 76, which is not too good, but what I'm most glad about the first game is that even though I made mistakes, which brought me into that tough position, that I did manage to save that position and end in a draw. I'm really happy about that because that's also chess. It's not always about winning. It's also about drawing a rough position. So these were the games of today. So I'd say if you like these games, these videos, please subscribe to this channel, like these videos, and help me make this YouTube channel grow. Okay, so I thank you for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.